Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I've got a spicy little legacy brew from Patreon subscriber Bjorgard, who challenged me to build around limited resources. If you're newer to the game, you may not even know this was a card. It is, of course, an extremely popular Magic podcast hosted by Marshall Sutcliffe and Luis Scott Vargas, where they talk about limited play. It's in drafting and sealed deck. This is a preposterous enchantment back from Exodus that is banned in Commander for what will become obvious reasons. One white enchantment. When limited resources enters the battlefield, each player chooses 5 lands they control and sacrifices the rest. Players can't play lands as long as there are 10 or more lands on the battlefield. It's very clear why, in a 4-player format, you wouldn't want something like this. It's very easy to get 10 lands into play and then nobody can do anything else. In 1v1, though, this is a card that we just don't even see played anywhere, because 5 lands is usually plenty to win a game with, especially in Legacy. Making my goal for this deck to ramp lands into play and remove my opponent's lands from play, so I start to tip the balances. I don't want each player to have 5 lands. I want me to have 6, then you to have 4, then you to have 3, and me to have 7, etc. It starts off the initial trigger when it arrives, sets both players to 5, but after that, you can mess with it. Or, if you get this into play before there are 10 lands in play and then ramp, you can lock your opponent out before the game even hits the 10 land threshold. Let's explore the depth of my madness to see how we made this happen. You'll recognize the core of the shell is very close to Naya depths. There's a very obvious place to be. Once I decided I was going to be Naya, and I wanted to be Naya because green is going to be the color that does the ramping that I'm looking for, and limited resources is white. And then from there I could have gone into Bant or just stayed green-white or explored some other spaces. But I really wanted to play Avalanche Riders. I don't think I've mentioned it on the channel before because it doesn't come up often, but this is one of those cards that just gets my engine going. Anytime I can put Avalanche Riders into play, I'm very happy about the experience. Hold 4 mana 2/2 haste with Echo, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy target land. This is a card that ever since Urza Block has just fired the chemicals in my brain. And when I had the opportunity to play it in a Legacy deck, you know I'm going to take it. So Avalanche Riders pulled us into Naya. And once I'm in the Naya wedge, there already is an established Naya deck that is doing a similar thing to what I want to do. So I borrowed a lot of tools from that. We've got the Knight of the Reliquary, Elvish Reclaimer, Flagstones of Trocaire engine. Flagstones is a land that you can sacrifice to limited resources if you have 6 or more, and it'll immediately replace itself. You can spin it away with Reclaimer or Knight of the Reliquary. Knight needs some help from Yavimaya, of course, to make it a forest. But you could spin it away and you actually end up positive lands because you search for the plains off the Flagstone trigger and then resolve whatever effect you use to sacrifice it. That's a ramp spell. Raminep Excavator gets to make all your land drops out of the graveyard, including Wasteland. That's a very common Legacy way to take your opponent off lands. Very easy to include Raminep Excavator and Wasteland in the deck. All these cool green creatures. We're a Green Sun Zenith deck. That gets us Dryad Arbor. It gets us Birds of Paradise. You'll notice that I'm on 2 Reclaimers, 3 Birds of Paradise. This was, I think, the hardest deck building decision of, do I just want to be Naya depths with this weirdo package, or do I want to be doing something kind of unique? Because Birds of Paradise is much better at getting Avalanche Riders on the stack. It also is a way to break parity under limited resources because it's not a land, but it is a mana source. I did have a version of this deck with 4 Reclaimers and 3 Mox Diamonds, just like Naya Depths, but then at some point I decided I'd rather build something as unique as possible rather than just make Naya Depths worse. So we got 3 Birds of Paradise, and Elvish Reclaimer as a tool in the Green Sun Zenith package if we want to reach for that. But mana acceleration in the form of Zenith for Dried Arbor or just turn 1 bird. We should have a turn 1 accelerant a lot of the time. Endurance because it's legacy and you got to respect that. And then we get into the weird stuff. 3 Avalanche Riders. Just destroy target land, in for 3, or in for 2. And here's the card that really inspired me to take on this challenge. Monvuli Acid Moss. 2 GG sorcery. Destroy target land, search your library for forest, put it onto the battlefield tapped. This is Stone Rain and Rampant Growth stapled together. And it's the perfect thing to do under limited resources because it both removes one of their lands and immediately replaces it in the total 10 land count with one of your own. This is also a reason to play Birds of Paradise over Elvish Reclaimer because this is something you're going to want to accelerate out. Legacy is a fast format, and playing a 4-mana sorcery that doesn't really cause anyone to win or lose the game, at least not directly, is a tough sell. But I'm in for it. This is a 4 of. This is the first card that went into my head when I was sent this limited resources challenge. Easy game. And at the top end of the curve, Acidic Slime. I just wanted a green creature that I could Zenith for that also destroys lands. There's a lot of green spells that do that, but most of the creatures that destroy lands are red, and you can't Zenith for red creatures, so Acidic Slime gets the nod at the top of the curve. 5 mana, 2/2 Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. A lot of modality on that one. Also a card I love playing. And because we have all these cool ETB triggers, nasty ones at that, I put 2 Ephemerates in the deck. I had a little bit of space left in the deck. I could do something boring like Prismatic Ending or Sylvan Library, but no, it's Ephemerate. That's what we're doing here. We're here to destroy lands, and that's what I want to do. The sideboard is just full of good legacy cards. Just Deafening Silence and Collector Oof for the Storm decks, Force of Vigor and Meltdown for the artifact decks. Pyroblast because we're red. Get that free roll in. Crop rotation in the sideboard. This one is to facilitate the Bajuka Bog when it needs to be faster than Elvish Reclaimer or Knight can generate it. Crop rotation for Karakas and Bajuka Bog as a 2 of in sideboards is something that Delver used to do. Old Rug Delver back in the day. They just had a 4-card sideboard package of 2 crop rotations, Bajuka Bog and Karakas, to fight the Reanimator decks and Show and Tell decks, and I've kind of adopted that here. Obviously, normal green, white, and Naya Depths play 4 crop rotations main. I didn't have room for all that. I was busy playing Ephemerate. And 1 Minsc and Boo Timeless Heroes. Sometimes you just need to get your opponent dead, and some decks don't even try to play a lot of lands, where this is going to really fall apart on them. Like if I get paired against Oops All Spells or something, I have to cut my land destruction spells for other things, and Minsc and Boo Timeless Heroes, another playable legacy card that I could put in as a juke. Well, here it is. I put a lot of work into this deck, probably put about an hour into brewing this deck, which is a lot more than I've done for most decks on this channel. And I'm pretty excited to do this. Let's hope it works. Be your guard. This is your limited resources brew challenge. Let's do this thing. I am on the play in round 1 with a kind of tough hand. Like, I do get to accelerate. I wish there was a second land here. I think 26 lands are in this deck. Yeah, so 25 lands still on the deck. That's just under 50% of the deck. I could Zenith for Arbor or play Birds of Paradise. Either one is a good start. I'm going to keep. Let's do this. And I think I want to lead on the bird. Both Zenith and Bird are susceptible to the same things as far as destruction, and Zenith can do more later on. Oh, a swamp deck. We're just going to get Dark Ritual Doomsday. Oh, so much worse. Imagine registering for a legacy tournament with Reanimator and unmasking your opponent on turn 1 and seeing limited resources and 1 Monvuli Acid Moss, and then laughing your way to the bank as you reanimate Grizzlebrand. This is why we can't have nice things. And we get a follow-up Dark Ritual. And an Entomb. I am likely to concede in a moment here. And my deck does contain Karakas and Swords to Plowshares, so I'll give this 1 draw step. Grizzlebrand has drawn 14 cards. Unmasked took my limited resources. They're living in fear. Do you think this game is going to go that long? They probably just think they can take my whole hand, which is probably true. All right, Caracas, let's go. My opponent's about to discard 5 cards and reload for the next round. But still, Caracas, let's go. There's Emissary Archon of Cruelty discarded. And Yavimaya was the play. Well, Knight of the Reliquary, get in there. Guess I'll keep casting spells. If the game allows for it. Archon will take out Birds of Paradise and Acid Moss this turn. Frankly, I can't beat any of these cards. Grizzlebrand drew a fresh 7, just 14 cards in hand for my opponent. I think they could figure out how to put Archon of Cruelty into play from here. They did, in fact, figure it out. Well, once again, my deck contains Swords to Plowshares. If I draw Plow Archon, spin up Caracas with Knight, bounce Grizzlebrand, maybe there's something. We're still in bad shape, but at least there's something. All right, Swords to Plowshares, let's go. Opponent's going to discard. Swords to Plowshares. Ancient Tomb. Okay. Does this do anything? I can remove the Grizzlebrand with Caracas, and then I still take 8 and lose my creature forever. I am going to concede this game. I could technically still draw Swords to Plowshares at 3 life, but you don't need to play every game to the wire. Is what it is sometimes. Crop rotations and endurances are coming in. Deafening Silence could slow them down in a way that's interesting. I actually think that limited resources is completely irrelevant, because my opponent, like, this game just isn't going to go to 10 lands, even if I fully execute my plan. I promise I'm not going to do this every round. This isn't one of those leagues where I'm just going to cut the meme and play a normal deck after every game 1. This is a real, like, this card is just not going to do anything and does not belong in my deck. Collector Oof has some text. They are a Lotus Petal deck. Ephemerating Endurance is nice. Good shit. Do I want the Minskin Boo in my deck? To do this, I'm probably cutting the Riders. Does Avalanche Rider being a creature that dies and they can reanimate it and kill my lands? That's tough. Tough sell. Force of Vigor has text against Animate Dead. Am I going that deep here? Are there bad cards still to cut? I do like the Acid Moss and Acidic Slime. I do want some land destruction because they are a low land deck. And if I can get Collector Oof plus start resolving land destruction spells, that's a real plan. Plus, every single card I boarded in is green for Endurance. And I just cut 6 non-green cards for 6 green cards. That feels good. I have Outland Liberator that can destroy Animate Dead. I think Force of Vigor is better than Outland Liberator at this one niche function that it has. Okay, let's go. I would like to play first. And have to mulligan because this hand doesn't do anything. Okay, I'll keep this one. I at least have Endurance here, and I'm going to keep the Acid Moss as a card to pitch to Endurance. Bottom Plateau. They kept 7. Life is Pain. Here's the Grief. I'll lose my Endurance. They stacked Evoke first, but I think this is a trap. Like, if I pitch cast Endurance, I lose 2 cards, then they Grief, and I'm down to 1 spell in my hand. I'm just going to let them take Endurance. They're passing the turn. This feels like Entomb to me. Time to draw a Crop Rotation or another Endurance. In which case, I should... Nope. Fetching doesn't make sense. It takes a land out of the deck, but it also shuffles Plateau back into the mix, so I was already like, this doesn't actually change anything. All right, come on. Interactive spell. Interactive spell. Oh, kinda. Shit. Well, that's the wrong half of drawing Crop Rotation, unfortunately. I'm going to play this Collector Roof and hope it slows them down at all. Are there red cards in my deck right now? There's Minskin Boo. Yeah, I think I'm just getting Savannah. All right, not happy about this, but here we are. No Entomb, fascinating. Maybe Faithless Looting pass the turn? Or Entomb Reanimate all at once? Sure. Yeah, I guess if you have Entomb Reanimate, you don't need to pass the turn. That is true. Well, Grizzlebrand's in play, but they can't Lotus Petal. They're going to 4 life. I could find a crop rotation for Caracas here. And if they go to discard and dump a bunch of monsters, Bajuka Bog on the fair and square has some targets. Swords of Plowshares is live. Plow or Caracas are both good. They've been unmasked. We'll probably take Slime. Sucks they saw the Bajuka Bog. That means they're not going to just dump monsters into the graveyard. Alright, deck. Swords of Plowshares off the top. Let's do it. Caracas is probably better. Ephemerate. Ephemerate my Collector Oof. That'll show you. Bang, Bajuka Bog. Collector Oof doesn't fly, or else I could block Ephemerate and stifle the lifelink. But unfortunately, that's not where we live. Can't Ephemerate Bajuka Bog. This is creatures only. Ghostly Flicker, the blue versions of this are usually target permanent. And now we're going to get grizzled into the earth. Sees, huh? Well, I'm not even going to cast my card because it doesn't matter. There's no points for casting irrelevant spells. And now I get to keep my Acid Moss. Well, they just grizzled down to 2. If they don't put a monster into play, I can simply attack. Dark Ritual, my nemesis. They could also animate dead my Slime or Endurance, and either of those blanks Collector Oof. They went for Endurance instead of Slime. I'm pretty happy about that. That lets me keep some resources. Endurance themselves. Putting Dark Ritual back into their deck. Unmasking me. Okay. Alright, do I have a way to get through Endurance? If I draw... I don't know, they are at 2. Elvish Reclaimer. We'll slow to the party here. 7, 8, 9. Opponent can put me to 2. Endurance is a 2-4. I'm 1 land short of big Reclaimer action. And the Reclaimer puts lands into play tapped, so we're probably dead here. Grizzlebrand's getting in. I don't have a Glacial Chasm in my deck, which would be the way to buy some time here. Here's Faithless Looting. This is what I wanted on turn 2, but here it is, much later than that. Discarding a bunch of lands. Terrifying. Alright, deck, what do we got? Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. I don't think this helps me at all. Now we're dead. I don't have a Maze of Ith. I didn't do like the whole lands package that Green White Depths does, because it's not really what I'm about. And Reclaimer puts lands into play tapped, so I can't get Caracas. Yeah, alright. Sometimes your Reanimator opponent keeps 7. Is what it is. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play for round 2. And before we get started, somebody messaged me between rounds just like, hey, I have a Legacy question. And I'm happy to answer Legacy questions, but if you see me on Magic Online, it's because I'm recording. I encourage you to direct those questions to Twitter, email, any of the many contact info avenues that I provide in any video description. It's kind of like walking on stage and being like, hey, Jerry Seinfeld, can we talk about comedy? Not trying to rag on that person, just there's channels for that. Okay, this hand doesn't really do anything. It has Wasteland and Swords to Plowshares. I could kill some time. I could also just jam the limited resources and let them know. I don't even know if turn 1 limited resources is good. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Yeah, now we're cooking. This is what I want in my life. I'm gonna keep this and bottom Dried Arbor. With the Zenith in my hand, we don't need Dried Arbor. And I'm gonna lean on Bird. Just does more. It does more mana-wise, and Zenith does more creature-wise. Like, if I draw a land in my next draw step, I won't even need to Zenith for Arbor. Scalding Tarn. There's the land. Now I can spin up Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in Reclaimer over another Birds of Paradise here. And I get to hold up Plow. My opponent hasn't bolted me, which makes me think they don't have it. Daze is a pretty hilarious blowout on Acid Moss. Just pick up the land I'm targeting. Take a walk, kid. Ledger Shredderino. Okay, I'm going to try to Plow the Shredder in the end step, because resolving Acid Moss, if they spend a counterspell on this, is going to be a delight. And if they don't counter this, I think they just have nothing. Oh my god. It's happening. It's happening. I'm going to fetch for Basic Forest. And am I more worried about red or black? Probably red. Here we go. Moment of truth. Yes. And I'm going to get a Taiga from my deck. And I get to attack for 3 because we are in the Reclaimer zone. I do need to find some action now. Like, Reclaimer can still activate, but need some follow-up. Avalanche Riders, how about that? Riders? Arrakis, okay. What land in my deck is worth tutoring for? Oh, Wasteland. Yep, that's the one. I'm going to play Caracas and Birds of Paradise and then pass the turn and spin up a Wasteland in the end step. Passing the turn. End step. I'm going to sacrifice the basic plains. I don't think I need that. A Wasteland. Green Sun Zenith. That's a card that I'm excited about. Wasteland you. Didn't even float mana, just being super honest about it. And I'm going to Zenith for Raminap Excavator. Is that better than Knight of the Reliquary? It's actually really close. Yeah, I think it is. Hell yeah! Okay, Monvuli Acid Moss. We did it. We really only saw Grixis Mana and Ledger Shredder that game. It doesn't give me a whole lot of info. I probably want Prismatic Ending and Endurance. Or Endurance is maybe, Pyroblast is definitely. Prismatic Ending, Pyroblast. I'm going to leave in 2 limited resources, but again, we're against a low land, probably tempo style deck, where actual land destruction is way better than resources. I'm going to cut Liberator. I love Birds of Paradise against potential Daze Wasteland decks. I'm going to shave an Acid Moss and an Ephemerate and get these in. Now, do I want to go deeper on... I guess if I'm shaving Ephemerate, I like Acid Moss better than Riders. But Riders is a creature, even when they daze. Acid Moss just gets completely obliterated by daze. I'm going to cut the other Ephemerate for another Endurance and just be more solid. Just land destruction here. Naya land destruction. I like this hand. I don't like the Dryad Arbors in it. I am going to keep... And it's also on 7. But I think this deck is going to stifle me. It might, so I'll just play Yavimaya. I don't think giving them a forest is going to be helpful. Making moves over here. Oh god. Lake of the Dead. Oh, you just put that card into play without going nuts? Are we about to get Demigod of Revenged? Yeah, we are. You need a lot more mana to get that happening, though. And I've shown you I'm a Wasteland deck. You brave maniac. Okay, Wasteland. Destroy Lake of the Dead. And as much as I would love to Zenith for Dryad Arbor right now, with my extra mana, it's in my hand. Alright, we gotta dodge Dark Ritual, Demigod. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Lotus Petal Ponder. Feed this to me. There's definitely right to bring in an extra Endurance. They found a land. That's unfortunate. I no longer think this is a Stifle deck in any universe. Ooh, Flagstones is really good, but I think Wooded Foothills is better. The pros and cons here. Wooded Foothills gives me Pyroblast. Or Bajuka Bog. Flagstones only gives me Bajuka Bog. Yeah, the land from Flagstones and the land from Reclaimer both enter the battlefield tapped. I can survive some extra pokes from Ledger Shredder. I'm just going to make sure I don't die this turn. If they just attack with Ledger Shredder and pass, I'll zap Ledger Shredder in the end step, and then get them with Wasteland stuff. Fetching for Taiga, or is it Plateau? think it's Taiga. Pyroblast your creature. Put it in the graveyard, please. Okay. Flagstones. Drawing Swords of Plowshares is a tiebreaker for Flagstones. I thought about wastelanding them, but I can spin up a Juka Bog and cast Plow now. This is good. Fetched in the end step. And played a Baleful Strix. That's a good card. Do I want a Swords of Plowshares Baleful Strix? I think I do. Oh, you're griefing me? That's not fair. Fetching in Demigod. Alright, I'm gonna plow the Strix. They can have my Zenith, and then I'm gonna rotate into Wasteland, and then play Wasteland and put them to 0 permanence. And then I'm holding up rotate for Bajuka Bog. In the end step. Here we go. Stack Flagstones. Gonna get Savannah. And then I'm gonna get Wasteland. Oh, ride or die, kids. I think I'm still gonna just Wasteland here. Waste you there. Waste you there. And do I need to hold up Bajuka Bog? I'm going to. I don't know that I need to. But it would suck to get just cheesed from this dominating position. Do I bog now? I think I do. And sacrifice the Yavimaya. Get Bajuka Bog. Or I could get another Flagstones and just keep partying. Yeah, let's just keep partying. It's fine. And Dryad Arbor gives me a way to attack moving forward. A land? Oh no. I am going to now spin up Bajuka Bog. Get the graveyard empty. I'm gonna Rider the land. Get Plateau here. And Bajuka Bog. Blow up your graveyard. And now that Bog's out of the way, I can just start attacking with all my creatures. Ooh. Good follow-up. Ride. Ride. Oh, yeah. And we're on the board with an Avalanche Riders concession. Let's go. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play in round 3 and betrayed by my plateau. Gonna mulligan this one. Okay. This hand is fine. I wish it did more, but I'm not gonna go to 5 over this. I have endurance if there's some BS. I'm gonna keep and send limited resources to the bottom. I am beginning to feel like that is just not a legacy card, specifically because many decks just don't have 5 lands in play when the game ends, and it doesn't matter how much you ramp or what you do about it. I got the plow for this. We're against some elves here. My deck, give me some Birds of Paradise or something. Elvish Reclaimer qualifies. Yeah, you'd have to get into some grindy, like, Minsk and Boo control pile before limited resources would even do anything. Come on, lands. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Shit. All right. Hard mode activated. Yeah, missing a development turn against lands here, or against elves, is bad news. If I could pick off this Cradle somehow, but now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 mana to work with this turn. This is another match where Glacial Chasm in the deck would be great. Got their own Reclaimer ready. And Shepherd can easily activate starting next turn. Time to start doing stuff with the Reclaimer. Ancient Tomb jumps me ahead on mana. I don't think wastelanding them is helpful now that they have Reclaimer. And me missing land drops, that just seems like a huge spew. I think I'm going to get a Flagstones and try to plan for a world where the game goes beyond next turn. Okay. Better late than never, I guess. I am likely dead this turn, but I'm going to keep playing. They can make 15 power just by tapping lands. Oh, okay. Or just cast Greater Hoof. Yeah, Zenith for Hoof. I'm cool. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, missing that development turn was really bad. Not that I'm convinced I would have won this matchup anyway. Prismatic Ending needs to come in. I don't have much for Elves. Normally the plan for Elves in this deck is just make Merit Lage, but that's not a thing my deck does. Endurance barely matters. Crop rotation, and that could be more Wastelands if I'm trying to stunt them. The Jukabog doesn't need to be in the deck for this matchup. I can get Minsk and Boo in as a way to win the game. It's also a removal spell. I feel like the crop rotations have to come in. I'm going to leave in one limited resources because I have to. I'm honor bound, but that is not a good card for this matchup or as we're learning any matchup. I'm going to have to land destruction them out of the game. All right, Endurance doesn't do much. The Plows are great. Prismatic Ending's great. Outland Liberator. Are they going to have any targets for that? Probably not. But it is a 2-2. The 2-2 better than a 3-4. I don't think it matters that much. These are simply objects, game objects, that I can put into play. All right, I'm going to choose the cheaper one. On the play, okay. This is about the best hand I could ask for, even though the freaking limited resources is in it. Do I need to max out on white mana? Can I get my red? Red can come off Birds of Paradise, though. Yeah, I'll just max out on white mana. Birds of Paradise, let's go. Turboing out Minsk and Boo would be nice here. That's where we get to be. Flagstones, cast Prismatic Ending. Savannah, cast Reclaimer. I at least have Reclaimer Flagstones if I don't draw the land next turn. But like, hey deck, please let's draw a land next turn. Zenith for 0. I'm going to Swords to Plowshares this creature, just doing anything to stunt any development. Plow the Arbor. On deck. Land, not a land. And activating Flagstones doesn't help me here in the main phase because these are all tapped. What I can do is play my limited resources. Ka-chow! You're on notice. Read it and weep. A cool thing may have just happened here where because I missed my land drop, they're not going to see Minsk and Boo coming and it'll get to kill a 1-drop and draw a card next turn. Maybe. We'll see. For your limited resources. And I'm actually gonna Reclaimer now because Opposition Agent is a card that Elves plays these days. I'm gonna search for Plateau and probably Wasteland or just another Flagstones, but that doesn't beat the Oppo Agent. I would like another Flagstones, but if they just hold up Oppo Agent, then I'll cast Minsk and Boo instead of activating my Reclaimer. Probably fetch Dryad Arbor in the end step. Ooh, no fetch at all. Okay. Seiju. They're not worried about limited resources. Can't believe it. Fiend Artisan is a 1-1. Yeah, let's go. Exile base removal, too strong. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Minsk and Boo. I would like to make Boo. And I would like to minus Minsk and Boo. They could pitch cast Endurance and save their creature. All right, but they did not. We did it. Killed the old 1-1 Fiend Artisan. Now they know we're a limited resources deck. They can play around it. That was a joke. They don't give a shit. Endurance does shrink Fiend Artisan. That's an angle that I did not consider that makes Endurance better than Outland Liberator. And I think that's the only change I want to make. Yeah, let's go. I have Swords to Plowshares. I have this stupid Dryad Arbor again. Hand is not very good, but it does have my removal spell. I'm going to keep. I don't play that many removal spells, and I don't have a combo kill of my own. I'm just going to try to tread water and then win somehow. Trust my deck to deliver spells I can cast. They found and immediately used Verdant Catacombs off of Once Upon a Time. And/or Elves. Okay. All right. Trusting the deck is paying off, kinda. I think I want a Plateau. Like, hide the Flagstones for when it's go time with Reclaimer. I don't even know if that matters, but doing it. Oh, if I had... Nope, there was no land that casts Plow and Reclaimer in my hand. I was about to say if I led on a different land, I could have plowed this turn and then played Reclaimer and Arbor next turn. But that's not actually true. I need Savannah to do that. There's your Reclaimer. And a Zenith for 0. All right. Acid Moss, okay. Elvish Reclaimer, go into play, please. It's going to represent the Swords to Plowshares, but the way I've been playing, I would have cast it by now if I had it. Wrist the Hunger Tide. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm just going to light up my Reclaimer. Joke's on you. Barely care about that. You get to start bashing. All right, deck. Relevant spell, relevant spell. Oh my god. Maybe someday. Here's my flagstones, and I guess I'm going to pass the turn. I am all in on land destruction from here, if I even get another turn. The cool thing about this deck is land destruction is also creature destruction. Zenith for 2. Fiend Artisan. Yep. Danger Zone. Fearlessly attacking into the Endurance that I'm not representing because I don't have double green. Stuff. My forest enters the battlefield tapped. Yavimaya. If I Avalanche Riders this turn, that's not good. Killing Dryad Arbor grows Fiend Artisan, but that doesn't actually matter. Here we go. Blast your creature. Search my deck for Dryad Arbor. JK. It's in my hand. Grist is a huge beating. Search up Savannah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm just like dead to combat very soon. Hardcast Once Upon a Time. We're happy with that. I can dump out my whole hand this turn. I can play Riders, Reclaimer, and Dryad Arbor. Another land. Curses. Grist is back up to 3. I could not present a threat quick enough that they have to lose the Grist to answer it. Swords of Plowshares. Green Sun Zenith. What do you do? Endurance is not bad on this board. Knight of the Reliquary is a 2/2. I could get Endurance, which shrinks Reclaimer and Fiend Artisan, but it does put both their Dryad Arbors back in their deck. I could also just do that next turn. Right, I'm going to stick to my plan of Rider, Dryad Arbor, and Reclaimer. This would be a great turn to have Ephemerate in my hand. Ephemerate whatever they target with Grist. Unfortunately, not the world we live in. If I attack Grist with Avalanche Riders right now, it goes to 1. Or they lose an insect. They sack the other insect. They'll Reclaimer. I think attacking Grist is better than not blocking. But we are getting kind of fast and loose here. Got to make big plays. They spent the insect on that. Yeah, there's only basic forests left in their deck they can fetch with Misty. Here comes the Grist activation. Gonna destroy Elvish Reclaimer, I'm sure. Ooh, no attack. They want to tutor up Cradle. Wow, fascinating. Did they forget about Echo? Because I'm not paying it. Will not pay for Echo. Well, I can, but I won't. Come on, efficient spell. Wow, that was a good one. Okay, I'm going to Green Sun Zenith for Endurance here. Or Knight is or it's not a 3/3 because they didn't attack. I think Knight is better than Endurance, actually, now that I drew the plow. Let's get Knight of the Reliquary. And they're going to do something with Reclaimer this turn. And I have Yavimaya, so Flagstones is live. Yeah, they're probably just going to get Cradle. And then I'm going to kill Fiend Artisan while the getting's good. Take that one in there. Okay, somehow. Grist milled Allosaurus Shepherd. They attack with Reclaimer. I am easily taking 3. Right, they did not attack. Leaving Reclaimer up is smart. That bricks my Acid Moss. Limited resources. What the shit? Okay. I suppose I can cast this card. I do have 5 lands exactly. Okay. Stack your lands, opponent. Oh no! I don't have 5 lands exactly. I have... I forgot about Dryad Arbor. Alright, well, I can sack flagstones, it's fine. Whoops. All right, limited resources has officially destroyed a land this game, but it was mine. I search my deck for a Savannah, and if I Acid Moss their Cradle, or I probably want to Wasteland their Cradle first, and then they spin, and then I Acid Moss. Yeah, I want Acid Moss to resolve. Does this put me into a place where I'm dead? No. All right. Knight of the Reliquary, sacrifice Taiga. Searching my deck for Wasteland. Grab the Wasteland. Waste your Cradle. Pitch casting Endurance in response. Okay, just targeting me. Sure. All right. Just shrinking my Knight. Fair enough. And then let Cradle resolve. And then let Wasteland resolve. Oh, that was hard cast Endurance. Never mind. I understand now. Are we just dead? Not quite, but it's a bad scene. All right. I'm gonna tutor up another Savannah. I have one red, that's enough. So yeah, that was smart. They're just all in on the beatdowns. Good play. I just straight up cast Endurance. They get to put me to 3 on this attack, or they could lose Grist, kill Dryad Arbor, and all right, they're going for it. Just trying to put me to 1. Or are they gonna kill Knight of the Reliquary and bet that their creatures are better than mine? Yeah, that's a good bet. Okay, Knight of the Reliquary is gone. I am not gonna block this turn. I'll go to 1. And then try to figure it out next turn. All right, come on. Relevant creature spell. Crop rotation. Is that helpful? I don't think it is. Once again, no Mazavith in the deck. Ah, brutal. Okay, opponent played well, and limited resources did destroy a land. Don't read the subtext of that. GG's. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play for round 4, and I'm paired against Spatula of the Ages, who historically has been a big Enchantress gamer. I'm going to keep my hand. This is among the best hands we've seen so far. Forest Birds of Paradise, like Richard Garfield intended. So far, no cards have been played that were not in alpha. See how long we can keep that going. Not true anymore. We blew it. Prismatic Vista not in alpha, regrettably. Opponent even has snow-covered basics to completely ruin the alpha meme. Boring. I believe I'm supposed to Zenith for the werewolf here. Is that card in my main deck? I moved that card a lot around in deck building, and yes, Outland Liberator is in my main deck. Cool. And my opponent smartly fetching a basic to pile their enchantments onto, but I am ready to ride. Outland Liberator, let's go. It's daytime. You better cast a spell or you're dead. Fetch land, and what do we got? Bayou? Bloom Shrieker. I remember losing to this card. Enters the battlefield. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, sure. They get to regrow one of their lands here. And unfortunately, they can't Wasteland and Rider, but I'm definitely going to ride. Nice blue source you got there. See ya never. And I get to attack even. So messed up. This creature just has haste. They put that on there. My opponent has to cast a spell this turn. If it becomes nighttime, they just die. If I get the attack trigger. There's the Vista they picked up last turn. And me without my Ephemerate. Wild Growth. That counts as a spell. I'm not paying for my Riders. I'd love to draw a second Rider right now and just end this game. Okay, my options include playing out a bunch of spells and destroying their Wild Growth. Playing 0 spells, just wastelanding them, let it become nighttime. I think I like casting spells too much. Wasteland your Bayou. Start there. And I'm going to destroy the Wild Growth. We're on this mana denial life. Omen of the Sea. That's fun. Yeah, their engine is there's a an enchantment from a commander set that I forget the name of, that when it enters the battlefield, you copy another enchantment, then every turn you can flicker it, and they just do like infinite Gloomstreaker stuff. They bottomed on their Omen of the Sea, and I'm going to play Land and Reclaimer. Excavator costs more mana, but getting Reclaimer active a turn earlier. Reclaimer is also big enough to fight Gloomshrieker, which none of my other creatures are. Or I guess Raminep literally is. Just saying words that aren't true. Miss your land drop, miss your land drop. Or be forced to have a sad little non-basic. Let me wasteland that too. Everyone Swept Teeth. Oh, you're attacking with the Gloomshrieker. I am not going to block as much as I want to. I feel like I'm too worried about this Gloomshrieker. It's just a freaking... Settle down. Do I want Dryad Arbor or do I want red mana? I think I want Taiga here. And Flagstone's right off the tippity top. You love to see it. Battle Cruiser operational. And I can spin up Bojuka Bog now. So I'm not even worried about Gloomshrieker. Another basic land. So many basics. This is not fair. Though I did Avalanche Riders, a basic land this game, with an enchantment on it. So count that as a giant win for this whole strategy. They kept one card on top with Omen of the Sea. Argothian Enchantress. Terrifying. There's an engine online now. Ooh, a non-basic land. Don't mind if I do. End step, activate Reclaimer. Sacrifice Flagstones. I'm going to get Plateau. At this point, I'm trying to leave some forests in my deck for Acid Moss. And I want to search for another Flagstones and just keep this going. Currently at 5 lands, which is the magic number. Excavator. Wasteland from the graveyard, waste the Caracas. I'm now at the squeeze point where if I play another land before I draw a limited resources, it hurts me more than it hurts them. Destiny Spinner. Draw a card. It's also a 2/3. Gets the Tangle. Uh-oh. Leyline Binding. That's strong. We're going to take my Excavator. That's fine. I'm kind of like not even that excited about activating Reclaimer. I guess I can grab a Wasteland from my deck, sacking my basic forest. Right now I'm dancing under my own stupid limited resources and just running lands like crazy. Nobody can really attack or do anything, but they are favored here. They're starting to grind out of this. They need to destroy some more lands or get some sort of squeeze in. So many basics. Opio Sprawl. Yeah, now we're just going nuts. Another Gloomshrieker. I'm going to let this resolve, and then I'll spin up Bojuka Bog. Still don't want to use the Flagstones, I don't think. So, limited resources, just one card in my deck. Alright, fine. I'll use the Flagstones. Search up Savannah, and I should have gotten basic planes. Bojuka Bog. Bog you. This creature has Menace, so I can't even block with Dryad Arbor. I will fetch for my Dryad Arbor, though. Alright, need some land destruction. Need something to do here. Swords of Plowshare is not bad. Not good either. And I don't want to play more lands because limited resources in my deck somewhere. Once again, limited resources hurting me more than it helps. If they use Destiny Spinner to animate a land, I'll plow that. That just feeds my land destruction plan. Ilea's Presence. Okay, that turns on Leyline Binding. Enchanted land is every basic land type, so Leyline Binding just costs 1. I get it. Elephant Grass. Yeah, my opponent is fully going off at this point. The early game where I was up under their mana, they were able to dig out of, and now I don't know how I actually win. I guess I have to lock them out with limited resources. That's the plan. In my end step, I'm going to sack Bojuka Bog. That's no longer doing anything. I'd like to get lands out of my deck. I'll get Windswept Heath, which can fetch basic planes in my upkeep, getting that out of the way as well. Knight of the Reliquary, hell yeah. That's a card I want. Knight of the Reliquary, go into play. 11/11 creature. I'm ready to fight. Never mind all these leyline bindings in their deck. And I'm still not playing lands. Land of the limited resources. Kept one Elephant Grass, sacked the other. I'm really worried about Doomwake Giant. They've already shown me Gloomshriekers. Estrid's Invocation. Yeah, this is the card that goes infinite with Gloomshrieker. And they have multiple Shriekers in play. They're making a leyline binding instead. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to flicker it every turn. Gloomshriekers are attacking. I will lose to this eventually. This double block is actually great because they can't kill Reclaimer, and I don't care about Dryad Arbor. Or I can actually spin away Dryad Arbor before damage. Yeah, that's even better. I only have 2 fetchable lands left. I think that's fine though. I still want to fetch them. Alright, Gloomshrieker down. I can plow the other one if I need to. Other Elephant Grass. You got it. There's only 2 forests left in my deck. I could endurance myself and get more forests into my deck at some point, I guess. I am going to keep fetching, though. Get the Savannah. Green Sun Zenith. Tell me what you know about Acidic Slime. That's the best get, right? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Zenith for 5. I'm going to get Acidic Slime, which is going to destroy the Estrid's Invocation Leyline Binding, which gets my Knight of the Reliquary back. And now we're hanging out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I already have 6 lands in play. Ooh, they just fetched in the main phase. If this is a non-basic, I'm zapping it. It's not. Okay, fine. Fine. I guess playing a land lets me Elvish Reclaimer again. Is that important? Really? I mean, it thins cards out of my deck. Alright, fine. I'll play my Wasteland. Got some Elephant Grasses to pay for. You have to watch my clock. This game is starting to grind. Kept 1 grass, lost the other. They've drawn 36 cards this game. No big deal. Cycling Xander's Lounge. Alright. Immune with Spirits. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal an enchantment or land, put it into your hand. Okay, put the rest on the bottom. Pretty good card for Enchantress. You revealed Leyline Binding. Okay, you got another one of those. Probably want my Knight of the Reliquary. That's the card that kills you. Yes. Alright, it's time to draw Ephemerate. I am going to rotate for my last fetch land forest combination. Do I want to keep Wasteland in the mix? I think I do. I'm going to ship my basic planes. There is 2 fetches and 1 fetchable. Okay, let's get them out of the deck and draw Ephemerate. Deck is mostly spells at this point. Endurance, okay. That puts all my forests back into my deck. Don't want to lose my Acidic Slime. So I'm gonna pass, and I really don't want to endurance. It does put forests back into my deck, but this is I have a 15 card graveyard and 13 of them are lands. I just don't want those cards. I've worked so hard not to have those cards around. Here's the Doomwake Giant. I have been saving Swords to Plowshares for this. I lose Birds of Paradise on the way out, but this thing's got to go. Birds of Paradise dies. They have 7 lands in play right now. I'm halfway through my deck without limited resources. Disappointed. Attacking with their 2/1 Menace. Yeah, good idea. Bad idea. I'm gonna endurance that. Do I target them? Do they use their graveyard? They do use their graveyard. I'm literally blocking a Gloomshrieker right now. Double block, kill this thing. Endurance is big enough to tangle in the red zone as well. They're starting to run out of creatures. Yorion is looming though. I'm gonna spin away my Plateau and just get any other land with it. That Caracas looks as good as anything else. Acid Moss, hello. There's no forest in my deck. That's okay though. I'm gonna Acid Moss the land with Nylea's presence on it. Get that out of here, please and thank you. It'll cost me 1 mana for Endurance to attack. Do I want to spend that 1 mana? Probably not. they can make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7/7 land, but I have a Death Touch creature. Right, no, I'm just gonna pass. It's gonna be a control deck. Oh, we are both control decks. This Harvest Hand, okay. By okay, I mean shit. I've tapped my Caracas. Woman of the Sea, yep. Drawing a million cards. Another Elephant Grass. Okay. Yep, I forgot that this deck had legends in it. My Caracas. Tapped impotently on my board here. Abundant Growth. I'm gonna Wasteland or fetch in response. You wanna get cute with me? I'll get cute with you too. Yeah, that's gonna stop at least one draw, but they get the other two. And keeps one enchantment out of play. Wild Growth at the end of the turn. This Destiny Spinner is becoming dangerously close to killing me outright. I'm gonna spin away a Savannah for a Wasteland. I do have a targetable land in play. Need Ephemerate. Hey, Ephemerate, what's up? How do I want to do this? I think I want to play Yavimaya. I can spin it into a different Yavimaya. And is Ephemerate going to be better as an instant? I could do it now where they can't Leyline bind me. Yeah, I'm going to Ephemerate now. I think I need to kill Destiny Spinner the most. Get rid of that thing. And pass the turn. And I'm going to bounce Sithis. They can replay her easily, but let's make them do it. And I'll Wasteland your Savannah. Like they have a binding in the upkeep. Okay. That should take Acidic Slime because Ephemerate's coming back down. Right, I'm just going to be really honest here and get my F6 value. I'm going to rotate Yavimaya into Yavimaya and then F6. Try to catch up on clock here. At some point, they just Yorion and draw a bajillion. Guess I gotta low-key hope they deck themselves, but that seems unlikely. Probably have to Ephemerate Endurance, target myself for any plan to actually win this game. Astrid's Invocation. Shit. I'm about to lose my Endurance, probably. Okay, they took the Elf. None of this is good. Oh no, they just take everything and start beating me for one. Glad I killed the Destiny Spinner, though. Now I have nothing to Ephemerate. Rushing. Can't rebound it. Oh no! Tragic. Betrayed by my deck. I'm gonna bounce Sithis and then F6. They can flicker their Leyline bindings, which may or may not be worth doing. Like they could make them into Omen of the Seas, draw some cards, give me a largely irrelevant Endurance. I would like to see them win the game though. Like Caracas can kill or keep Yorion out of combat. They can draw gazillions of cards. Found another Leyline binding. How many of these do you have? I guess this was technically the fourth one. But there's already 5 in play. Oh, there's Destiny Spinner. Now we lose. Okay, they found a win con. Okay, there was an exciting beginning of that game where I got to Avalanche Rider for huge value, and then we just did not do anything for the rest of the game. Force of Vigor comes in, Minsc and Boo comes in, Prismatic Ending comes in. I think I want Deafening Silence as well. Stop those big combo turns. Pyroblast can hit Estrid's Invocation. I don't think that's that important though. 6 cards in. I actually wanted limited resources for that whole game and it never showed up. I'm going to board one out as a punishment. That's a joke. That's not a real thing that you do. They have used their graveyard. They do use their lands. I want all of my land destruction spells. The Juka Bog is relevant. Uh-oh. All my cards are relevant. What do I do? I could cut some Swords to Plowshares. And they do have Doomwake Giant and Destiny Spinner that are really good. I could cut Birds of Paradise because these games are going to go long and drawing mana dorks in the late game's bad. But also that's early advantage. Wasteland is kind of medium. I think I can live without one of those. It'll have targets, but not always good ones. I am going to cut the Birds of Paradise. And I wanted that Ephemerate for so long, and then it showed up when it was too late. All my land destructions required. Do I need Bojuka Bog and Endurance? I don't want to go to 24 lands, though. That's just not enough to play this deck. The answer is limited resources, but I'm also, like, really trying to make this card work. Here we go. We're going in. I will keep my hand and rock out with this Deafening Silence. We got Wasteland, Excavator, Avalanche Riders. This deck could play back to basics. It has all 5 colors of mana and a ton of basic lands. That's just something I want to not die to if I can avoid it. Made white with their Utopia Sprawl. Cool. I think I'd rather get Dryad Arbor here than anything else because the Arbor gives me Avalanche Riders next turn. Like I could get Reclaimer. There's no Birds of Paradise in the deck anymore, which is probably better than Dryad Arbor. But now all the mana dorks are out, and I have a bunch of lands, and I'm not going to have to draw any mana dorks for the rest of the game, which was the purpose of that sideboard plan. All right, Commune with Spirits. This is their spell for the turn. Leyline Binding. Can't cast that. And I'm going to get to Avalanche Ride. Oh my god, another one. Ride. That in the graveyard. Accelerated Avalanche Riders. You love to see it. A Leyline Binding that's miles away from being cast. Oh, Wild Growth. It would be a shame if someone rode on it. Unfortunately, I do have to not pay the Echo. Wasteland, another Riders. Ride. Dress down, that's cheating. I have to pay the Echo and I don't get to attack? Boo, boo. Shame on you. Okay, they figured something out here. Well, I am going to pay the Echo. Keep the pressure going. All right, Force of Vigor is a good one. Attacking my opponent for damage is something I failed to do at all last game, but I would like to do this game. Leyline Binding. Are we going for the silence? Yes, we are. Okay. I can give up my Excavator and zap them for a bunch here. Or I could... I'm going to see what they do, because if they commit to a spell, I can Force of Vigor and unlock Deafening Silence, and then they can't get any more spells this turn. Oh, I'd rather kill that anyway. We're in combat. I'm just going to Swords to Plowshares to this. Get her out of here. Oh, right. I'm so dumb. All right. Yeah, Karakas works at saving your creature. But I did transition into a 4-mana zone here where I can cast Force of Vigor. Do I even want to do that? I could also... All right, I can Wasteland the Karakas and then play Excavator. Yeah, I'd rather do this for now. And I played Bojuka Bog this turn, so that's my land. Now the Force of Vigor actually kills to this and unlocks the silence if it needs to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. There's Sithis. The Wasteland and Swords of Plowshares were both right there in my hand, so this could be gone. Okay. There's nothing good to copy here because the Force of Vigor is gonna rip it up. Force of Vigor. I do need to answer Sithis. And I'd rather have Ramanap than Deafening Silence. They Wasteland for the turn. Keeping the pressure up here. We could easily just lose this game to a single spell. Woman of the Sea. All right. Attacking for real damage, though. They're going to be at 2 next turn if they can't stabilize this board. And Rider off the top is lethal. Ride. Remember when they dressed down my Avalanche Rider? Has that ever happened in Magic the Gathering? Another Leyline Binding. Disappointing. Card is so cheap all the time. They're not even doing anything easy about it. It's just like, I have 3 basics. Oh no, it would have been lethal. Still good though. Ride. For the island with Wild Growth on it. Switch it to 2. Play my land from hand, all in, let's go. I've got 2 lethal creatures in play. You got 2 cards in hand. If you fetch, I have 3 lethal creatures in play. Nylea's Presence. Okay, that unlocks the full 1-mana Leyline Binding. Yeah, Avalanche Rider's too good. Okay, I just got to draw all 3 Avalanche Riders after accelerating. Got it. Easy. On the draw, I'm more interested in Birds of Paradise. I don't think that changes anything. They're just bad draws later in the game, and my opponent isn't really guns blazing. So accelerating the Avalanche Rider was really hot, but I have 4 Zeniths that can still do that. Game deck, let's go. I did just see Dress Down, which is more blue cards for Pyroblast, but I'm not going to try to figure that out. Avalanche Riders. That I just need a red source because Ancient Tomb is an accelerator. Immune with Spirits. All right. I just need a fetch land in my first 2 draw steps. No sweat. He revealed a forest. Opening Silence. Elvish Reclaimer. Let's go. I actually don't even need a fetch land. I can spin up a red source with Reclaimer if it's still in play. Go the Enchantress. There it is. Zenith. Oh. That does not get me a red source. Yeah, I think I need to play Wasteland, and then Elvish Reclaimer spins up a fetch land, and then I get Plateau, which gives me my silence and everything else. Elia's Presence. I will happily destroy that land next turn. And Utopia Sprawl, put it on the same land. You wuss. You smart little wuss. End of turn. Sacrifice the Wasteland. At a Wooded Foothills that in my upkeep will fetch Plateau. Then Ancient Tomb. Ride or Die. Do I want to take out the ramp or the... I want to take out the 5-color land. That one looks better. Make you work for your line bindings. Sterling Grove. Okay. Elia's Presence. They had another one. Okay. Disappointed. I believe I have to let Avalanche Rider die. Rider die. We've got... I can Ramanap, land drop, and then Silence and Zenith, but I want a Zenith for the Liberator, so I can't actually do all of that. I'm gonna Zenith for Liberator first, get Outland Liberator, and then play Deafening Silence, and attack for 1. Okay, they only get 1 spell now. Leyline Binding versus. And this thing has Shroud, so it's not even gonna be destructible. And now they get more spells. Oh god. They're a Sanctum. We're so dead. Wake Giant. And this thing also has Shroud. Yep. I'm 1 mana short of destroying Sterling Grove, then killing the creature. I guess I destroy Sterling Grove because my creature's about to die anyway. I get to tutor. Back to basics on top. Yeah, that's a good card. I lose my elf. And then this turn I can Swords to Plowshares and Knight of the Reliquary. And I do multiple good things here. Knight of the Reliquary, 1, 2, 3, Ramanap, Wasteland, Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, I think Ramanap's better than Knight. Ramanap, Wasteland, Waste the Sarah Sanctum, Swords to Plowshares. And Ramanap can hit basic lands out of my deck, working towards the fighting through the back to basics. To this, okay. They're basic and piling up on the plains. Makes sense. Maybe this deck needed Ghost Quarter, but I have so much non-basic or basic land removal. Like a preposterous amount, actually. There's the back to basics. I'm going to be a little sleepy here. There is game to play, and that's usually all I need. Green Sun Zenith. Wooded Foothills. Fetch for basic forest. I can Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Puts multiple untapped lands into play this turn. I can play Knight next turn. I don't have a weight on my basic plains. The only fetch land in my graveyard is Wooded Foothills. I thought I was being clever with prioritizing a land that doesn't get my plains earlier, but now for opposite reasons, I actually want the plains. Rest in peace. Okay. Yeah, that's real good. Nice Ramanap Excavator dummy. Woman of the Sea. All right. Yep. They should be able to win this game in 2.5 minutes. Oh, Acidic Slime. What a tease. I'm going to play Yavimaya. That's an untapped land briefly. And then that's not the right one to tap. Knight of the Reliquary. Working our way up to Acidic Slime. Leyline Binding. Taking out my Knight. That's really good. I'm going to make them win. I think they will be able to. They just need like 1 Destiny Spinner. Just show me a win con and I'll bail. Strid's Invocation. Exiling my Ramanap Excavator. I mean, they could have and probably should have gotten Yori on there. Oh man, this limited resources, and I can't cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would show them. Okay, there's Destiny Spinner. You got me. Easy game. Avalanche Rider was responsible for the one game we took that match. Good shit. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw for the last round, which is good because I'm pretty sure I won the other 4 die rolls, and if I emerged complaint equity by winning all 5 on this league, I would be inconsolable. I'm going to gain complaint equity, though, by mulliganing this no-lander. Okay, this can ramp. It does not have a red source for riders, but I am going to keep. And I have to decide if I want to send the Ancient Tomb, because I'm going to Zenith anyway. So Ancient Tomb powers out Acid Moss. I could turn 2 Acid Moss. Holy shit. Okay, I'm going to bottom Avalanche Riders. Go. This is where I get dumpstered by Doomsday or some shit after my great efforts. Ooh, basic island. Okay. I'm gonna Zenith for Dryad Arbor. We're going for the big swing. Basic island has me a little nervous though. Yep, combo deck confirmed. I was gonna say control decks don't just basic island go most of the time. They cast Ponder off it or they play a fetch land. No. Oh no, I've been wrong. Okay. Alright. Fine. Just let everyone laugh at me about how wrong I was about what I'm playing against. The turn 2 Acid Moss Dream is dead, but we are going to get to turn 3 it. Unless my opponent casts a big jerk counterspell. I'm going to get Taiga to make sure that I have red mana. Oh, baby. Bring the acid. I'm going after the plains. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, they're just putting Snapcaster Mage into play. Not cast any of the cards in their graveyard. A Preordain is a sorcery. Oh yeah, we're in there. I'm going to get the basic forest to make sure I don't get cheesed by back to basics. If that one resolved, I have good news about the next one. There's Preordain from hand. I wonder what they're doing with Preordains in their blue-white control deck. Is this like cat combo, or why is this card here? Generally not in the first 8 cantrips you reach for. Endurance is a powerful card. And so is Monvuli Acid Moss. Acid. Another Snapcaster, okay. Oh my god, I'm such an acid hole. And I'm going to plow one of these. Just take the pressure off. I've tapped Ancient Tomb a few times. We can chill. For a Tundra, it's so lucky. If I draw like any spell or Wasteland to keep the pressure up here, I am unable to do, it seems. Maybe they have a third Snapcaster Mage and I can just blow them out. Okay, now I actively don't want you to have a third Snapcaster Mage. Then I get blown out instead of you. Target your graveyard. Did it work? Okay, those are gone. And we block. Ice. We're in there. Come on. Oh yeah, ride or die. Ride. Ride, my champions. I'm going to take out the Tundra because it's a white source, even though that turns off any wastelands I might draw. And in for 5 we go. I am going to pay for Avalanche Riders because I have infinite mana here. Nothing to do with it. I just want to point out that limited resources would be terrible right now because I have so many lands in play and they have so few. I'm not even locking anyone out of anything. Pay the Echo. I could probably safely use Ancient Tomb to do that in this matchup, but I'm not gonna. Their Ponder found Prismatic Vista. I can stop paying for Avalanche Riders and just attack. Oh, acid! In for 5. Fetching post-combat. Interesting. I hope they regret the hell out of that when I hit them with the acid. I'm gonna acid you another question. And the answer is Force of Will. Sure. I have put 4 land destruction spells on the stack. 3 of them resolved, and 2 of them were also rampant growths in this control matchup. This is awesome. And my opponent's currently dead on board. They chose to shuffle. Yeah! Control deck versus land destruction, like you read about. Okay, Minsc and Boo come in here. We saw multiple Snapcaster mages. I like Endurance. I got to imagine this is a back to basics matchup. You don't build a mana base like that without a plan to leverage it. Probably shave a Wasteland for the matchup. Though I think I might rather cut Bajuka Bog, though it's close. I think with all 4 Endurance in the deck, I don't need Bajuka Bog as much. Do I play 24 lands? I shave 1 Birds of Paradise. I'm going to shave at least 1 Swords to Plowshares, maybe more. I like all my land destruction. I like my Zeniths and my land tutors. Emmerate's really good against Swords to Plowshares. Alright, I'm going down to 2 plows, and I'm just piling on the pain here. Let's go. Alright, slow and steady. Keep it. I'm glad the Ancient Tomb finally did something in the league. I felt so clever putting that in the deck, and then it did not do anything for 4 rounds. Zenith, hello. And I'm going to get a Savannah. I can fetch basics still with what else I have going on. You need to get red eventually. Maybe I should have started with Taiga. Ponder. They top the Preordained, so they're not about to miss a land drop. Holding Tarn. Okay. Ooh, Ramineb Excavator. I'm a big fan of that card. Do I want to lead on Knight of the Reliquary? I can get my basic forest and play Knight here. Yeah, I'm going to get Knight into play. This is just a big idiot that is good against back to basics. And if they want to plow this, they have to use Tundra, which blocks one of their own lands under back to basics. All right, just passing. Ooh, Ephemerate. That's kind of messed up. Taiga and time to ride. Ride. Force of Will. Good call. Pitching Spell Pierce. I played the creature first because of soft counters. And I'm just going to leave Knight untapped here. Knight can save itself from removal with Ephemerate if it needs to. Or I can just tap it and search my deck for lands. Or if they Supreme Verdict here, I can turn Dryad Arbor into a real land on the way out. Yep, okay. Sacrifice this forest. And do I want to get Flagstones here? I have a bunch of fetch lands. Yeah, I think Flagstones make sense. Get the flags. And Ephemerate does not save this creature. Going for the Moss. Right now when it's Force of Will or Bust. Another Savannah. I am really soft to back to basics right now. Okay. Monastery Mentor. I mean, I'm not excited to see that card, but at least it's not back to basics. Oop. We did it, Bezos. Towards the Plowshares. And it's gone. I think I want to Ramineb here and start hitting land drops. Yeah, that gets me basic planes. Towards the Plowshares. Is this worth ephemerating or can I do better? I think I'd rather protect Knight of the Reliquary. That's fine. I'm going to fetch basic planes in the end step. The opponent has 1 card left. Oh no! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can sacrifice the Flagstones and then nobody gets lands anymore. It's time! All right, limited resources. Nobody can play any more lands. But I'm not playing a land. Oh, doing this backwards. I have to select the 5 I want to keep, not the one I want to sacrifice. Okay, I already have 6 lands to your 5. So the next Wasteland is free. I'm going to get Knight out here. And I will protect Knight with Ephemerate if I need to. Counterbalance, okay. Green Sun Zenith, oh yeah. Zenith for 5. I don't think you have a 6-drop on top of your deck. I just don't think that's true. Field Flooded Strand. That's good information, because that means I can Ephemerate if I so choose. And I'm definitely sliming a Tundra, not the Counterbalance. I don't care about that. I'm coming at you. I think that attacking for 7 is the right play. As much fun as tutoring for a land and ephemerating slime sounds like. Shuffled away the or the Flooded Strand, and they don't get to play any more lands. We actually have a limited resources lock right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Slime time, slime time. Slime time live. Acid Moss reveals Counterbalance. They're going to fetch. And I get a Taiga. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I get Wasteland, there will only be 8 lands in play, so that's not the line, unfortunately. The line is just attack for 1 million. And it's going to hang out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can't play lands. Oh my god, you drew Terminus, you monster. Yeah, alright. Fair enough. Maybe I should have ephemerated. It's fine. I have endurance that can still win this game. My opponent can't make any more land drops. They're also at 1, so they can't force, they can't fetch. It's counterbalance or bust. Ride or die, kids. I'm going to leave up mana for endurance. Arrakis on top of the deck. Take out your Tundra and attack you for 2. Yeah, we did it. Those of you stuck around this long, you better be glad you did. Okay, final thoughts after putting limited resources in a deck for the first time, probably since I was, 11 years old? Limited resources is not a legacy card, I'm sorry to say. You need to be in a matchup where your opponent both doesn't kill you very quickly and needs more than 3 lands in play to function. Because even in that last game, where we got exactly the matchup we wanted, all our spells resolved, and we put them in the development lock, they still had 3 mana, and a lot of legacy decks play just fine on 3 mana. And then throughout the entire league, there's a lot of decks that just don't even care. And unless you get literally 10 lands into play with your limited resources, and limited resources has to arrive before you play your 6th land, or else you get set back more than they do. Oof, yeah, that's tough. Limited resources only destroyed lands twice in this league, and they were both my land. They were both Flagstones of Trocaire, so it's not a huge deal, but it only actually destroyed a land twice, and it did lock out a blue-white control player at the very end. Ignoring limited resources, though, Avalanche Riders, Monvuli Acid Moss, and Acidic Slime, that was a strat. Just adding this to destroy the basic lands on top of the Ramunap, Wasteland, Elvish Reclaimer, Night of the Reliquary core that's already in Legacy. I think if you just turn the 3 limited resources into actual Magic cards, like play a couple Prismatic Endings in the main, maybe a 3rd Endurance, that frees up sideboard slots as well, that then you can have that Glacial Chasm that I said would have been good a number of times. This was fun. Definitely the land destruction half of the deck I had an absolute blast with. And we learned some important lessons, which are limited resources, questionable. Avalanche Riders, undeniable. Absolute beatstick. Game-winning card every time it arrives. And I'm going to leave that as the lessons learned from this league. Avalanche Riders fucking slaps. Guard, thank you for inspiring me down this path of madness. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Glad you stuck it out to the end. That last match was the best one. If you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon and all the other links to the sponsors and stuff in the video description. I appreciate you all being here, and I'll see you for the next one.